Now, the last vid was a bit of fun. I had that Bluetooth transmitter hanging around and I thought it would fit in the big chunky case with no modifications. Not even close. Even after tearing the transmitter apart, it was still a tight fit. But it ended up being a really good proof of concept, and I realized how with very little effort, and I mean very little effort, this is not the product of a proud man, how close this thing was to being a totally usable daily device. I scrolled through my contacts and called a proper old mate, James, the genius. The bootleg, jury-rigged adventures we've been on I will cherish forever, but this guy is 100% legit. I mean, look at his wares. Most of this stuff was picked up not working. Here's DDR, and yes, he fixed it. So I showed James the mess I made and just explained what it needed. It needed to be powered by the iPod's battery, so we didn't need a separate thing to charge. We didn't need to open it every time or cut a hole in it. The button had to be moved. I mean, who wants to open their iPod every time they want to use it? And so we're gonna put the button up where the headphone jack used to be, because, you know, I like the idea of taking the jack away. It's a very modern Apple kind of thing. The audio connection had to be direct, no weird aux cords or dongles or anything. And like crazy bonus points if we could move the LED to where it's discreetly visible, but the LED that's on there is so tiny, I figured that was impossible and we just had to live without it. James just said, yeah, easy. And like the LED as well, yeah, easy. And yeah, it was easy for James. He took all the stuff we didn't need off the board and instantly got the audio patch, took a nice clicky switch from an old treadmill and mounted it in the hole. He got the transmitter powered directly from the motherboard, meaning the battery isn't altered. So when this thing needs a new battery in the future, you just swap it in. Not only is this way more convenient, we didn't have to cut a hole in the iPod for another stupid charging port. Oh, and the LED? Not only could he add a new one, but he asked me what color I wanted. Look at him weaving magic here, changing the RGB color using a button cell battery. Depending on the angle, he can get the colors in between like cyan and magenta. But naturally, I had to pick blue. It's a Bluetooth iPod. And because of all the space that we saved, the battery could go back to its usual spot. The jank has been erased. It's all held in with strong double-sided tape, so it could be taken apart again, because yeah, I'd love to play with this some more down the road. This is a proper working Bluetooth iPod that I could happily give to a friend to use. I mean, let's compare the difference in experience here. In the first attempt, the routine was, get your metal tool, open your iPod, turn on the transmitter, turn on your headphones, and then try and get the mess back together, give up and quit. Now it's turn on the transmitter, turn on the headphones, and that's it. And you just charge it like normal. The battery's gauge is accounting for the transmitter as well. This thing is awesome. Wouldn't it be great to have this hooked up to one of those party systems so folks can just come up and set the music like a wireless music remote? It looks cool as heck and retro, and being wireless is heaps fun. Oh, and the best bit, when someone inevitably runs off with it for fun and then the music just stops, destroying your party. I can't wait. This thing works so well, I just had to make the stupid purchase, just to know for sure. Yeah, I got some. And I can't get them to sync up. Because it's funny, because the AirPods are recognizing the transmitter, but the transmitter doesn't want to make it happen. It just keeps flashing, like never turns a solid color saying connected. And like, trust me, I tried for like 2 hours making sure the AirPods weren't recognized by another device and the other Bluetooth devices around, all that sort of thing. No idea. But I had a gig that night, and the leader of the band had the first gen iPods. So I brought the iPod along and he let me play with it during the set break. No, it didn't work either. It seems to be the transmitter's fault. The AirPods are given the cues that they're synced to a device, but the transmitter just doesn't want to send anything over. And I've seen vids of people syncing AirPods to other transmitters. The one I used was the cheapest one I could find at eBay at the time, and I forget when I bought it. So, if you want to try and do this for yourself, just make sure you get one that talks to the device that you want to use it with. And I'd love to see this turned into a kit someday, because I think this is an awesome mod. This totally works. Regardless, this thing is awesome. Just sync it up to a Bluetooth speaker in the house and just keep it in your pocket as you wander around. It's like a little music remote. And to celebrate, me and James decided to explode the original transmitter's battery using a farm spec Excalibur.
Well, that's not good. I'm sorry, but what more do you gotta do to start a fight with one of these?